Welcome back to Lego by the Book. Today I'm going to be building my birthday present to me. This video will be going out the day before my birthday, but I'm actually building it a week before because it's snowing and I'm hoping this will pass the time. Anyway, this is set 21325, the medieval blacksmith from the Ideas line, and I'm hoping it is a precursor to more Castle in the future, just like I'm still hoping that Barracuda Bay is a precursor to more pirate stuff, because of course that's what I'm about. This is not the first blacksmith shop Lego has come out with. This is actually very reminiscent of set 3739, the blacksmith shop from quite a few years ago, and that set is actually the basis for my medieval village. That was the design and style that I was going for. This is obviously way more detailed and way more intricate and complicated than what my village is, and so I've discussed in the past what I plan to do about that, and I'm tempted to reduce the detail of this set slightly and increase the detail of the set of my medieval village to kind of meet it in the middle. We will see how out of place it looks when it's just built, and I may not decide to change anything. Who knows? But I'm really looking forward to building this because it's a really, really cool set, and I imagine I will get many ideas from it for things to do with mine. So let's get this thing open and build it. Open up. All right. Just one. Alright. Bags. Bags are numbered 13, 12, 14, 8, 2, 4, 9, 1. Aha! Found bag 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11, 7, 5, 6, and you must be 10. Alright, all bags accounted for. Ugh. Instruction booklet. They bagged the instruction booklet. That just seems unnecessary. Alright. Very cool. I assume these are going to be the floors. Lovely, lovely. Out. Let's do this thing. Oh, what do we got here? Meet Clemens Fielder. I'm 22-year-old, live in Hanover, Germany. I study geography at the University of Hanover and plan to study landscape architecture after I complete my degree. I've played with Lego bricks for as long as I can remember. My passion for medieval architecture and design has ignited early in life when my father's friend taught me how to forge metal. We started with small objects and then moved up to things like damask knives as well. It's a time-consuming process, but results are really impressive. So he is the one who originally designed this. They have some of his mocks in here, and then the blacksmith shop that he designed, and then obviously they had to make changes in various ways in order to make it acceptable. Neat. And then obviously we have the design, the two people who upgraded the design. I like that they have that history stuff in these and explaining, oh hey look, just what I was saying about previous blacksmith shops. They have all of the previous blacksmith shops. The one from the Grey Castle era, as well as the one that I talked about, and then a later one. And I don't know if I have that. I think I actually do have that one. I don't think I have this one, but I've built it in by the book, and then I definitely have that one. I've gotten it a couple of times. So yeah. All right, I'm really looking forward to the detailing in here, especially the furniture. That's what I think I will get the most ideas from, are their furniture stuff and how I can do my interiors. The other thing I'm not really sure about is the scale. I'm not sure if this is going to be way too big to fit into my village, if it will be, you know, too much larger than everything else, but I don't think so. I think it will be fairly comparable. The question is, where am I going to put it? All right, so we need bags 1, through 5 for the first floor, 6 through 8 for the second floor, and 9 through 14 for the final floor. We start with bag 1, just doing the ground and foundation. Cool. Bag number first one. Spin. A new color of brick separator. Somebody asked me about a purple brick separator that I have. I have a whole bunch of different brick separators that have come from various places. Some of them are off-brand, and some of them are proper, and who knows what else. Oh, they gave us an extra beard. Cool. Can make another dwarf. All right, so we make our mini first. We've got our blacksmith beard. Oh, power better not go out. Getting power flickers. Don't you do it. All right. He's got a hammer. So there is our blacksmith with his apron and his hammer. He also has a doge, which is excellent. All right. Here we go. Oh, they are doing a lot of parts per page, and they're highlighting them. That is new. I have seen that done in, or something similar done in off-brand Lego instructions, where only the new parts are in color and the rest are all grayed out, and it makes it really easy to see what is being added. Here they've got them highlighted in yellow, but they're definitely putting a lot more bricks per page. I thought this manual seemed small comparatively. Like Barracuda Bay, I think, has 2 books that are both thicker than this, and it's not that much bigger of a set. It's a little bit bigger. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this set and the prospect of more castle in the future? I would love a whole castle line. The last good castle line that came out, I was still a penniless college student and could not afford any of it. And now that I have money, all of those sets have been discontinued and are now prohibitively expensive, and I have trouble justifying it. But I am hopeful that there will be a new line. That is a shade of green I am not familiar with. That is fabulous. Okay. But yeah, there's been some controversy and controversy surrounding the 90th anniversary, because an awful lot of people voted for Bionicle, and people like me who are really hoping for, you know, classic stuff, you know, from our youth, are of course getting very get off my lawn about that, which is not a good look for us, really. Like I said, my hope is that the popularity of sets like this and Barracuda Bay will result in a whole new line, as opposed to just getting a single 90th anniversary set. Given that they gave us Barracuda Bay, I mean, that's a class. It had a very classic pirate feel about it, in my opinion. Now they've given us this, which, while far more detailed than any of the classic stuff, is still a castle set. I think it's fair. We've gotten you know, single sets that fit into our genres. And while yes, I would love another pirate or castle or what have you set, I am, as I said, willing to give that one to the Bionicle fans if it means that we get another castle line or another pirate line. so that I can throw large sums of money at Lego. Alright. Okay, that is a decidedly new part for me. It's a round, but it's got a diameter of 3. Never seen that before. That is nifty. This set is already... I would be surprised. I'm reasonably certain I had very, very few of any of those parts in those colors. The grays, obviously, but the tans and the browns and the sand greens and the swamp green and whatever color of tan that is cool. That is nifty. All right. What are your guys' thoughts on, one, the 90th anniversary thing? I did think it was neat that they acknowledged their mistake in the categories that they created, because they had, you know, Classic Pirate was one option, Classic Space was one option, but then they had Castle split up into, you know, half a dozen or so subcategories of minor lines. You know, the Black Knights and Wolfpack and Forcemen and all of that each got their own, and so you had to, it divided the votes significantly, having them all separate categories like that, and as a result none of them got close to winning, and Lego acknowledged that yeah, that was probably a mistake, and so they backpedaled a little bit and combined all of those together. Lights are flickering again. You better not go out if I have to stop building this because the power's gone out. I shall be vexed. Terribly vexed. It is really wanting to. Interesting. Anyway, I thought it was big of them to admit that they had made a mistake with that and then combined them all and made it the third category, or rather the fourth category. And then they had the second round of votes, which they have not revealed. And they're not going to until the set is released. And I'm with them on that because I don't know how closely they were following all of the boards and all of the comments and all of that, but it was getting kind of unsportsmanlike. Like I said, a lot of the people from my era getting very get off my lawn with your Bionicle meh, because we weren't getting what we wanted. Which, you know, is never good. Alright, I might go quiet and just build for a while. Alright, we have reached the end of bag 1. We have the usual plethora of spare parts, including some interesting ones. There was a spare bone and a spare beard, and then the usual stuff. And some of these I could obviously add on without it making really any real difference. Little extra pebbles and stuff like that. So, no surprise there. On to bag 2. We have reached the end of page 2, we have the usual, again, plethora of spare parts, including a log end, which is cool because it's just a really neat part. And of course the usual little bits. And what we have is our first major action feature, which is that when you push on the bellows outside, the forge lights up. Let me get that up close. The forge lights up. It's got that light up brick. I happen to have one in my castle under my forge. It lights up a whole lava room, but it also lights up the forge from underneath. So, yeah, coming together nicely. Beautiful details already. You know, they've got the log stack there. They've got a grinding wheel. That is a level of detail that's pretty awesome. A crate full of ingots. It looks like iron ingots. A coal slough. Is it a slough? I want to say a slough. And then, of course, the bellows. And the forge. And looks like water. So I assume it's a quenching bin. And, yeah, coming together beautifully. All right, bag number the third one. End of bag number whatever I'm on. Bag three. We have the usual plethora of spare parts, including a neat little bit of shrubbery and some other fairly nifty parts. We have now added a pumpkin patch. Isn't it adorable? Plumpkins. And there's now armor hanging on the wall. The new armor type that I really like, and a shield. Yeah, detail is coming together beautifully. I am digging it. We continue. Right! End of bag 4. Spare parts, ours. Another shrub in a color I definitely did not have. We've got a lot more of the exterior detail done now. I think the next bag is the tree. And a well, it looks like. Which is slightly disturbing, actually. Yeah. Lots of nice detailed brickwork. Not too much, and I like that. It's something I can work with. I dig it. More interior detail. We have the anvils have now been added, including one with a red hot ingot, helmet, a crucible, a frying pan. Good stuff. Some bar stock. So they really went into a lot of excellent detail in what you would need in a blacksmith shop. They don't have nearly enough tools, in my opinion. I think they should have designed some tongs, some kind of tongs. That would have been an excellent addition. All right, let's get on to bag 4. Looks like we get another mini. Our next mini, we have the lady with archery gear. She's got a very nice vest. She's got boots, quiver. I dig it. Excellent mini. Excellent. And that is the end of bag 5, and thus the entire first floor. The usual plethora of spare parts. Some neat ones in there, but a twig. At least I think it's spare twig. There isn't enough leaf to leaf another twig. And we have a lovely tree with an archery target and a frog. There's a tree frog And a well. Not as impressed with the well as with everything else, quite honestly. For one, the the water in it is black, which is disturbing. They could have gone with a clear blue round tile. I probably have one that I could put in there, so I don't know why they went with black, unless I just want it to look deeper than it is. But yeah, that is pretty awesome. So we're now going to set aside this floor and start on the next floor. On to bag 6. Bag 6! We have the beginnings of the first floor. Table, keg, stove. Looks like a butter churner. Fabulous details. And of course, the usual plethora of spare parts. The one nice thing about them having all these bags separate and having so many bags is you end up with an absurd amount of spare parts because every bag has a couple of spare parts. I love it. Alright, bag number 7. We reached the end of bag 7. We've got our first little section of roof, which is really cleverly held in place. I like everything they did about that. The usual plethora of spare parts, and again, interesting ones. There are some chairs here that have hatchets as the backs. That is fascinating. Yeah. Coming together nicely. Coming together nicely. Bag 8! Aha! We have finished it. And it is absolutely gorgeous. The way they did the planking. And the detailing on the walls, where clearly the plaster is chipping away from the underlying brick. Just lovely. And we can now put it on the top. Oh, that is just gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Yes, yes. I am digging it. Alright. Now, for the top floor. Which ought to be a neat one. Alright, we have the beginnings of the top floor, including a little writing desk with inkwell and bench, a candle, a trunk with stuff, including a compass and a backpack, and a brick-built bearskin rug. That is the coolest thing ever. There were the usual plethora of spare parts, of course, that I've already tossed in the bin. Meh. Usual plethora of spare parts, including a second one of the compass. Little bitty compass. That is really cool. On to the next bag. Right! Book 10 done. Spare parts. You know how it works. We've got the structure for the ceiling and the bed. Lovely little bed with a checkered quilt. Very nice. Bit more roof. Kind of a window gable thing you can't actually get to because the writing desk is in the way, but still very cool. Very cool. All right, we're getting to the end. Right, we have the first side of the roof on. Quite lovely. We just need the chimney, which appears to be in the last bag. Spare parts, the usual, little bits. One bag. No, 2 bags. Ah, more bags. Roof mostly completed. I mean, it turns out there's holes in the roof, which is just, I mean, I suppose he's a blacksmith, not a carpenter, but also there's a lot of moss. I think that's what this is meant to represent, and it does look neat. I have seen a number of people who ordered enough tile to fill in all of the gaps so that there aren't holes in the roof, and I might do that, because I'm pretty sure I definitely don't have nearly enough to do it right now, but we now have the whole building, and we can put the roof on. That is an absolutely lovely set, and it is... I'm thinking it might be a little big, which means, again, either I need to make it a little bit smaller or come to grips with the fact that it's big, or I need to make my other buildings larger. We shall see. We have one more bag to go, and I don't think it actually has anything. It's not the building, it's the cart. So, last set. Alright, we have our last 2 minis, which are the new Black Falcons. They've brought back the old Black Falcon logo, or something very similar to the original one. But they've got much more detailed torsos with actual armor and tabards and chainmail and all of that. They have different... Sure, he's got different shoulder armor, which looks like something more out of Ninjago than medieval. She's got the same armor that we saw in the blacksmith shop, which is much more proper. They do both have hair that's kind of... It's weird. It's weird hair. But they do also come with helmets. So you can swap out the hair and actually give them helmets. He has a sword and a shield, and for some reason in the instructions they make them both left-handed, which I appreciate. And then she has a wicked-looking halberd, which is really cool. This part here, I've never seen it before. It's similar to the lightsaber parts, but there's a couple of them in the set, and they're kind of nifty. So that's how they extended her halberd. So neat. Now apparently we build them a cart. And here we have our cart. There was an extra shield. I just didn't put it into its shield holder. Okay, shield. There is a sack in the cart. Other than that, the cart is empty, which is kind of weird. It does have a lantern on it, and then, of course, room up front for both of our knights to sit upon the horse down. And put the weapon in the back. He's got a shield. We have our horse and one spare part. But they have done the thing that they used to do all the time with any set that had a horse. They gave you the parts necessary to fill in the back of the horse. So the horse can have the thing that holds it to the wagon, or you can put this in there and then it is just a normal horse, which was always something I felt was super, super cool. Similar to them providing hair and helmets for the two knights. That's just a neat little extra thing that they put in that they didn't need to, but was very cash money of them. That appears to be it. We have reached the end. So we have our blacksmith shop with our blacksmith and his archer lady. We can only assume wife, though who actually knows. Their pooch, who has a bone over here. The forge that lights up, cool action feature. And yeah, so it all comes apart very, very nicely. The roof is easy to pull off, and you have the bed and the bear and the trunk, and then you go down a level and you have the dining room, which is lovely. And then you go down and you have the forge. The doors are brick built. I thought that was a really cool touch, that they have brick built doors rather than regular, modern, newer, actually not even new doors. Fancy doors have been part in LEGO for a very long time. But it all goes together very, very nicely, and is a really, really cool set. Now the question is, how well does it fit into my diorama? So let's go place it, see if I can find a place for it, and see how well or poorly it fits. So rather unfortunately, it not only is it the wrong level of detail, though not nearly as bad as I thought, it is definitely the wrong scale. So I don't know how well that's coming across, but it is quite a bit larger, noticeably larger, than any of the other buildings, and there isn't really any room for me to make the other buildings bigger without removing some of the buildings. Now, perhaps I could spin it as a manor house where it's meant to be bigger, but it does just feel like it's slightly out of scale. Now, some of the buildings, like this one, I actually could scale up a little bit. There's a little bit more room there. The barn looks comically small next to it now. It's slightly problematic. And even the biggest buildings in the village, I mean, the only ones that are even close, oddly enough, are... This one ended up being bigger than most of the rest, but not by much. But that one is too big. Now, I could probably... There's a couple of places where I could bring it down. I'm thinking either taking one layer of brick out to make it a little bit shorter, taking off the part of here that is hanging over the staircase. That would bring it down to closer to the right size. But I'm not entirely sold on any of those when it comes right down to it. I'm not sure what to do with this. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys have a good idea of how I can make this fit. Ooh. If not, I will simply put it on display because it is a beautiful set and I'm very glad to have it. But I would like to try to figure out how to fit it in here. Give me some thoughts. Let me know. Thank you for watching. This has been cool. One last bit. When it was all said and done, that's how many spare parts there were. That is a lot of little spare parts. Very cool. I don't know what I'll do with them all, but it's nifty.